This is the Tom Anderson Show, broadcasting live from the KVNT studios, 7 to 9 a.m., Monday through Friday.
Well, Alaska's senior U.S. Senator has been working hard, and my friend, buddy Karina, writing the press releases often. Lisa Murkowski joining us. Senator Murkowski, you are busy. Well, I'm seeing these press releases daily.
Well, there's a lot going on here. You know, we got to get cruise ships headed north so we can get some tourists out here, although the tourists are everywhere, which is great. We're working on some infrastructure. We got a lot going on there. Great potential, not only for us here in Alaska, but around the country. And yeah, Tom, there's a lot going on. So happy summer.
Yeah, you too. And 4th of July, I know your Miss Independence Day, and you and your family celebrate it like so many of us do. Beloved birthday of America. That's coming up this weekend. I hope it doesn't rain. I have friends canceling their parties all of a sudden because they're like, the weather's going to be inclement. But we're going to be out there, and we'll find out what you're doing as well before the end of the interview here. I got to tell you, congrats on winning this national award. I read that the American Society of Travel Advisors, ASTA, which is huge. My mom used to go to their conferences for our RV rental company. You won the 2021 Global Travel Advocate Award, and that is like the signature, freedom medal from that organization for your support of travel and tourism. Let's get into that. That's such a critical element of our economy, and you've been not just a pioneer leading it in the state house when we were colleagues, but as a U.S. Senator. Where do you see travel expanding 2022 and 23? I'm assuming it's going to be open. We're already open, but it's just going to have momentum and thrive forthcoming.
Well, I think, Tom, what we're seeing right now play out, we've got airplanes that are headed north that are just, every seat is full. We hear the stories all over the place that nobody can find a rental car for love nor money. And so we're seeing kind of the precursor of next year, but when we get the cruise ships back online, not only the last month of the season like we're going to see here down in Southeast, but really all over the state, I think you're just going to see tourism bloom. It's so important for our economy. It's kind of one of the three legs of the Alaska economic stool. So it's so important. So when Canada moved forward, last year and basically shut off all cruise ships coming through Alaskan waters, you kind of deal with it in the year of COVID. But in year number 2, where they're basically, we're doing well with our vaccinations, things are starting to get turned around, we've got strong protocols in place, it was just, we could not be in a situation where we were going to lose yet another year of lost, lost income. So we needed to get to work. Everybody said, you can't do it. There's no way that you can get this exemption from this PVSA. And I was like, hey, there has to be a way, because otherwise these small mom and pop operators, these little tour operators, people like you're talking about, your mom, they're starved. They can't stay in business. So we had to act, and we didn't give up. We were pretty annoying and pestering to everybody that would listen. And long and short of it, we got this moved unanimously through the Senate, and got it done.
And you know what else you did? You were instrumental in getting funding, COVID money, and that trickled down to small businesses like mine and Optima, not so small anymore. We bid on against a lot of companies to try to help Governor Mike Dunleavy with the national tourism outreach. And our firm Optima won exclusively the digital. And the reason I bring that up is not to brag, but to say that we promoted nationally and are continuing to do so. Alaska's open for business. You helped get that COVID funding to be able to do that. In concert with this, I have another question. So I thank you for that. I thank you on behalf of Alaska. But the travel associations, Visit Anchorage or Fairbanks and Matsu, Kenai, they all have convention and visitors bureaus. Juneau, Ketchikan, they're all over the place. Places you were born or lived. I think of your traversing over Alaska over your lifetime. ATIA, the biggie in which our digital ads pointed to, their website, Travel Alaska. They have momentum as well, correct? Thanks to the funding you have led to get, and then just from momentum.
Because, when you think about it, there wasn't a mechanism to get funding to the tourist associations that you've just outlined there. There wasn't a mechanism, and it's like, we got to let people know that it's time to come back, that it's safe to come back, that we want you. And so how can we get these advertising dollars out there? So it was through an initiative that I had led in that CARES Act funding that said, hey, let's put this mechanism in place through EDA. Let's make these funds available. And you're seeing that translate. It's great because
it's huge.
When I'm flying back in the lower 48, I hear from strangers in airports who are like, oh, yeah, I saw this ad saying come to Alaska. It was a really great ad. So
that's thank you. I mean, you help facilitate that, and thanks to Governor Mike Dunleavy for pushing it, and people are seeing it. 300 million plus digital ads on our end that we pushed out there. Okay, here's one other one. I know you have limited time. We'll get you back in the future. You voted in favor, thank you very much, of the U.S. Innovation and Competition Act. That used to be the Endless Frontier Act. Nobody knows the names of the acts. It was 6832, bipartisan legislation. It counters China by confronting the nation's economic and geopolitical power and invest in science, tech, and U.S. manufacturing. By the way, those are your staff's words. Great press release. The bill contains Arctic priorities, which you have championed. I don't need to read a press release to know that. You've been a pioneer for Alaska. To ensure that the U.S. has adequate capacity, things like development and protections, ecosystems, education, of course, the icebreakers, all that stuff. Why is Alaska important in bolstering the U.S.'s economy against competitors like China? I mean, we're a big deal in geophysical terms, aren't we?
We are a big deal. It's location, 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 but it's also what you have at the location. I think we all recognize that Alaska has opportunities for our critical minerals that not only this country needs, but the world needs. You mentioned the Arctic piece and our geostrategic position, not only from a defense posture and position, but really from one of commerce. As you're seeing, whether it's cruise ships that are headed into the Arctic, or whether it is whether it's commercial activity. Now that you have lines or lanes that are more open for months throughout the year. So it's when you think about competitiveness, Alaska isn't always thought of because it's like, well, we don't manufacture much, but it's what we have in terms of access. It's what we have in terms of resource, and really, it's where we sit. And so, Alaska has really been one of those pivot points for so many that are looking at new opportunities. And so making sure that we are in the game, that we've got assets that can, whether from a cleanup perspective, from a defense perspective,
military,
from a commerce perspective, we've got to be ready.
No, for sure.
We're positioning ourselves.
Well, I'm excited to know, I mean, you and Dan Sullivan and Don Young, who are so supportive of you, not just governmentally, but to continue on what you're doing in years ahead. It's a big deal, and I hope people understand it. Now, we're about out of time. We're going to get U.S. Senator Lisa Murkowski back. I got to congratulate you, folks. I don't know how you have enough wall space. I just read that you got the Icelandic Order of the Falcon. That's the highest honor from the nation of Iceland that they can bestow on an individual, and that's for your work with the Arctic Council and everything. So, geez, congratulations on that. That's a biggie. No Alaskans ever won that. So well done.
Well, it was really very, very, very humbling to receive that. I've done a lot of work, obviously on Arctic, but so much of the time as we discuss these Arctic things, issues, we're in Iceland. So I've developed some very good relationships with members of their government, their presidents, and so it was an honor to be recognized. But I think what this demonstrates is that early engagement in Arctic leadership was important for years, for probably 12 years. I was the only American that would be attending these conferences, and we needed to have a presence.
Yeah, it matters for sure.
If you don't show up,
you don't have a seat at the table.
And so it's all about showing up, being heard, and being counted.
Absolutely, it is. Tom Anderson Show. Thank you, Lisa Murkowski. We'll have her back for sure. God bless America. Happy Independence Day.